which is
Right.
something that kind of we need to look at too.
Hmm.
How does that affect our communities as well?
Right, as far as mental, like you hear
Men-
the thing about, last year was the big thing, the big topic of discussion, I think, in our culture and some of the venues and places that I've been was mental illness.
Right.
And that's another reason why we're discussing this food issue. And, statistically, without nourishment, that's the brain power, that's the part that's most important to help you to function. So your functionality is totally off. And then what you're placing in your body, the sugars, the made up food,
Right.
nothing that has nutritional value. I had a personal trainer that would tell me, if you can't read the nutritional value of a meal that you're eating, or the box of the side of a cereal box, you can't pronounce some of those words, then necessarily you don't need those. You don't need that product in your body.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard this, that
Right.
if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't eat it. You shouldn't want for it. You understand? And I know that's a big part of our community's mental health, the food, the way we eat, and the way, we just take care of ourselves.
Right.
And I wanted to ask you also, and in Louisville, how long have you lived
I've lived here like kind of most of my life, but off
Okay.
and on because I was a military child growing up.
here? Okay. And so here in Louisville, because like I said, the show is Look, Listen, Louisville, so this is all about this community, the city of Louisville, which is one of the largest cities in Kentucky. And since you've been here, most of your life, and I'm a transplant here, but I love the area. It's laid back, and I find that there's great people here. With that, have you seen a growing number of homeless and issues of hunger in your community where you live?
Actually, I would have to answer that as a definite yes.
Okay.
As a definite yes. Probably because maybe as a growing up as an adult, you kind of don't look at those things. But then all of a sudden, one day it just kind of hit me. I was like,
Right.
what are all these people doing? What are they? And it just hit me like, these are homeless people.
Right.
And
Right.
it just and then I started, seeing things for what they were. Just like you said, discernment. It's like the discernment kind of hit me,
Right.
and I was like, wow.
Where you became conscious.
Yeah,
right.
I became conscious of what was really going on around me, and
Right.
and since that time, it's continually gotten
It's
worse.
continuing, and then like we said, not just with the homeless though.
No.
Just in our community, next door neighbors.
Yes.
Are finding themselves strapped.
Hungry,
continuously
not getting anything
strapped,
filled.
and the fear of sharing that place that they're in. Being able to tell it, being able to share it.
Mhm.
I wanted to find out, in your local community, are there any places that people can go that our listeners may be able to provide a resource to someone? Are there any local resources that that you can introduce to the show today that can help someone that may be listening?
Well, I sure do.
Okay.
Of course, because of being in Louisville, we do go by some places go by your zip code. Some of them go by like the general area you live in, but there are, and then some of them go by, like, of course you have your seniors
Right.
cafe, your kids cafe. During the summer, there's like a little, like the JCPS. They'll go around with like
And JCPS is what?
Jefferson Community Public Schools.
Oh, okay.
The school
Okay.
system will go around with little trucks and stuff that'll have like, I don't think this year they didn't do it at the pools this year because the pools were, 2019, because the pools were
Right.
closed.
So that's
They
for the
go
summertime.
around
During the summer months, they go around and
and
they
give food for
galvanize
kids.
some resources, and they provide the
Mhm.
children that are home during the summer months.
Yes.
Without a lunch or a meal. And what
Right.
about the winter months? I mean, I
Um,
know they're in school, and now are they paying for lunch?
Um,
And we'll get to those resources in a
I
second.
don't. That's that because I don't currently. My daughter's not in school right
Right,
now.
right.
I don't know what's going on with that. I know there's been some back and forth with what's going on with the paying for school lunches and
Right.
everything. But I think that it may be one of those kind of
Situations where they pay. Right,
yeah.
right. And that's a problem for me too. I always had a problem. Why would students have to worry about paying
There you
for
go.
school lunch, especially with food waste?
Right. There
And
should
most of our
be.
grocery stores, I would think, would make a supplemental plan that their food and whatever can go to the schools. You understand? Like
Right.
a percentage of what stores get. If you're opening a store, a percentage of your store should provide a school system or a local school in your community with food products.
Right.
You understand, whether it's just drinks or snacks, something that will sustain that school system. That's another issue, that I think can be alleviated.
Right.
That payment for lunch. Parents already have to pay for so many activities and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to send my child to school for 8 hours, whatever it is, and they should be sustained with a meal if I'm unable to. You understand? And I'm talking about people with low income issues, things like that.
There are things available for that. You can apply for like free lunch or reduced lunch. There are things for that.
Those are things that are in place here in Louisville?
Yes, they are in place. But you have to definitely do your work.
Right, your due diligence to make sure that that's happening. So what resource? I see you pulled out a pamphlet. Or
I have, so because the area I live in,
right.
It's based off upon where I live. But I did do some research.
Right.
We have a free public library. You're more than welcome to go there and
right.
kind of look up your resources for Louisville. I just looked up Louisville, Kentucky,
the general area.
Yeah, and looked for, pantry options and stuff like that, emergency food. So that is available. You can go there. But for me, a lot of the community churches, they'll help you. Dare to Care. What's another one?
Okay.
Your neighborhood places,
right?
They will help you with food,
right?
Just general places like that. Some of the big places, they'll help you, but don't forget about the small places too,
right?
Because in the South End, there's like the South End Louisville community ministries. Don't forget about your community ministries. They're there for you as well.
Right. And now I know over my span and issues that I've found myself in. There were times I went to pantries, and then there was a time that I worked in a pantry and held a pantry,
right,
within my own business in Georgia. So, is there some things that you're doing out of your own home, possibly that are helping others?
At this time, there's nothing big that I'm doing. I help where I can. The friend that I do have, when his, pantry, when he was helping the homeless people, I was able to help, transport things, when he was getting a donation and stuff like that. Right. I was able to help with that, but at this time, with my work schedule. Right,
because we're working hard. We're working hard. You do, I'm going to say that Lisa, she does non-traditional work. She is a talk driver, here, a community bus driver, and I can understand. That type of work, it's hard to really, your schedule is always, forever changing, so it's hard to, to kind of get in your community. What I love, though, and some of the stories that we talked about when I made your acquaintance, was that you share these things on your routes. You're sharing with the community. And that's what I thought was really great. That's really great that you are actually able to tap into someone's situation or discern that situation just by, doing the work that you do. You're engaging with the community constantly, and what I will take from it, the little things are the most important things, because you said transporting. There's, our listeners, Louisville listeners, you can transport food for a pantry or a local ministry, or transport food from your house to someone else's house. Mm-hmm. We touch on, the fact that we want to do the big stuff. All of us get in this distracted mindset that I got to do something big. I don't want to do nothing small. But then you always find yourself living small. If you're not giving, if you're not in a place of being able to give big, but you don't understand the little things that you give allow for bigger things to come into your life, is what I've learned. That's been my principle. That, I got off that thing. I always want to do something big. I'll wait and save up, and, or I'll go buy a ton of groceries, or I'll go, get a bunch of volunteers, and we'll, but I can do this for my next door neighbor.
Right.
You understand? And that's another thing that helped us talk about this topic today, just in the type of work that you do. I hope you didn't mind me sharing that.
It's okay.
It's a community work, and you're here in Louisville community. You're serving your community. You're not only that, you're transporting people safely. You understand? That's a big responsibility. And then here it is. You're just a woman that's working, taking care of your family, and here it is. You want to do more. You understand? And in that, you're tired. Food may be lacking even in your own home. You understand? You see how it all connects. I always say, our situations all intersect and connect. and cross between, and this thing about hunger and how it affects us, we don't think about it.
Right.
You understand? Because I know, as long as I got gas in my car, as long as I got $2, I can hit a value menu. You understand? And that's not what we want to do. So we want to talk about maybe some solutions in the next few minutes that we have. The next part of this segment is about the solutions. I think on a political, I'll say starting on the big level with
Yes.
the politics of it all. You talked about, Lisa, the process
Yes.
to get to food, the process to get to some of these pantries, the process, if you don't have documentation, you understand, if you're homeless, we'll start with that, the displaced person who may not have that social security card,
right.
that ID, you understand, that Kentucky ID, or the person that doesn't have a physical address.
Right.
Here it is, you go to a pantry, they want all that.
Right.
Is that right?
Most situations, yes.
Okay.
And then not only that, and even one of them that is usually, one of them that's close to me.
Okay.
Okay, it says clients must be 18 years of age. Please bring a picture ID with your current address. If you are unable to provide a picture ID,
right.
a current utility bill,
wow.
leasing agreement, or any legal correspondence that includes the client's name will be acceptable. So I mean, that's what
right.
I mean.
That's the process.
Your documents, you have to have something.
Right.
And then sometimes on some of these, like to get the items that you need, usually you have to register at a certain time.
Right.
And then you have to wait or stand
for hours
to get it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And it's something that needs to be resolved, because think about it, like I said, that displaced person, we're not just going to talk homeless, period.
Right.
I mean, there are people who get evicted.
Right.
You understand, they have circumstances. That's another thing. You got evicted, but now you need food to, to feed your family. And there's the process. You don't have that physical address anymore.
Right.
You understand? Then you have to lie. Right. You may have to use your Aunt Sally's information, or Sue's information, or Uncle Mark's information to get food, or use somebody's address. I mean, that's the chain of events that happens just around getting food and getting good food, just to get some substance. Right. You understand? To sustain your life and to overcome any issue in your life. But that's the barriers. These are the barriers, and we want to talk Listen Louisville. We want to get next week. I'll hopefully have you call in, and we could talk about this again. I would love to hear what Louisville has to say about the barriers to food, and how you feel it, and what your perception or opinions are about food, about how we don't have access to food for everyone in our community, not just my block, or just in my community, my neighborhood, my suburban neighborhood. There are people that are really in need of food.
Yes.
Just that simple. I don't think it's ever been broken down to the bare minimum where you just need food. You need food because food alleviates a whole lot of other issues. That's always the first problem that we have to deal with normally in our household. When bills have to be paid, then we have to wonder, well, how are we going to eat? And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a few more moments. We're going to play another song. While you think about it. I think my mic was loud.
Talk to me.
I have my mic on loud. I wonder if it was picking up over the show.
This is got good, but I'm
Talk to me. Alone in a room, it's just me and you.
This is really gonna be good, and I can't wait for next week for you to be like, they called in and
Cause I
this
don't know
is what
what
they
to
said.
do.
I mean, if I can be here next week, I'll come.
Now what if I choose
Thank you.
the wrong thing to do? I'm so afraid disappointing you. So leave